And now for the part you've all been waiting for, kind of. Anyway, hello and welcome back to the tutorial. This is the mapping tutorial. This is where we're actually going to learn how to map. You'll see that I actually got started, and that's mainly because I got bored with the rendering video and started actually mapping. So, yeah. Now I suppose I should explain all of these tools. First is select, which allows me to select a certain, slider, certain point on the slider, a certain hit circle. Let me get to the first hit circle. A certain hit circle, or, well, that's about it. And then it allows me to edit one singularly without actually dealing with anything else. And what I just used was Z, which brings me straight back to the beginning. Useful stuff. Next is circles. Hit circles, to be exact. These things, when placed down, will hit in time with the music, which allows you to play Osu. Yeah. And you'll see the abundance of sliders I put here. Beautiful things. All you have to do for these, let me without music, or without something. Alright. And I just use V to travel to the last point on the map that I've mapped. Or I could press V again to go to the end of the map, but that's not what I want to do. So, sliders are a bit more difficult than hit circles. So, you will get one, these two, points. But, straight sliders all the time is kind of boring. So, why not just, add a little here, there, that, And if you're feeling really special, hit the same place twice, and you'll note that it starts again. Something crazy. Except that that's too late, and it's a really good attack. I don't know. So, yeah. If you feel, you can make something slider arty like this. Da 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 da. Let me make this real fast. Da da. It's important that the slider goes in time with the music, though. That's the important part. I mean, if it looks good, that's all fine and well, but you want it to all go in time with the music. Otherwise, it's kind of just fluff. Something like that. I mean, I messed up a bit. You can use the lines as guides. So, here, if you press Control H, you can flip it and see how you're progressing. It seems that I'm a bit off, skewed to the left, to the right. I always get my lefts and rights mixed up. Still skewed a bit. Move it over. And voila, symmetrical. Or, no. One more. That's as symmetrical as it's gonna get. You're gonna need to play around to get it to go exactly the way you want. See, I'm skewed to the left on this one, too. Skewed to the right. Cardinal directions. And there you have it. Also, useful things you can do with sliders. Control R, which will reverse the selection area without actually flipping or changing the slider like this one. Changes it between there. And I'll delete that. Now then. Now for these. New combo. Or otherwise you can right click to start a new combo. See here? Starting a new combo is important because when you're getting to end of one of these, and if you've hit all of them correctly, you'll get, I'm forgetting what they're called. I think they're called Kai. I could be wrong. Whatever. Anyway, you get, not more score, but you get more life on your HP drain, which, is important. So, add a few new combos every once in a while. And then, I suppose other things over here. Whistle, which all three of these are sound effects. This is where I was talking about you can substitute these for lots of things. In all, you can have 9 different sound effects if you really feel that great. 3 usually works for me, maybe 6 if I really feel like it, but that should usually do the defaults. Then there's grid snap. If I take this off, I can move this in a perfect circle around this, and everything. But personally, keep grid snap on. It helps make your map look good, especially when you're beginning. Actually, especially always. Ah, yes, and speaking of things looking good, distance snap. Take this off, and things go crazy. Without distance snap, this can be moved anywhere. Sometimes that's nice if you want to, say, have a gigantic jump here, like, difficult part. But usually, since Osu is both a visual game and a rhythm game, you want the player to know when the beat is actually coming. I mean, the approach circle is nice, but the distance between the two beats helps the mind determine, when the beat's going to hit. And that's why you can screw with them by changing the distance. But remember, distance doesn't have to be a, static thing. You can press Alt and change the distance snap, see? So yeah, that's all for the distance snap. Then there's locking notes. Say you want to play around with this slider or something. I want to move this around, screw around with it or something. But I don't want these notes to move. I can't move them now, see? And then, I suppose there's the spinner. I almost never use the spinner, I just ignore it. Yeah, there's really no place I'd use the spinner. Not really. But, there are some people that really like it. So, things you want to avoid with the spinner. You don't want to, say, do this, then put another spinner, and do this, and then do this. That can actually make the beat map impossible to get 100 on. I mean, it's really just, no. Just don't do it. It's mean, and yeah, there's really no point in doing so. Slider. Oh yes, other no-nos with these. Don't put a beat right after the spinner. I mean, like, especially something in the corner. If you do that, that's really just mean. There's really no other word for it. It's just mean. So, those are the no-nos with spinners. Alright, then. Now, I suppose I should show you how to add sound effects. Now, if I press this circle, hit circle, now it's a normal hit. This is it's at the neutral right now. Now, if I feel like it, I can add the whistle, the finish, which is, for this, it's a symbol, and the clap. I could have them all simultaneously go. But I don't see why I'd do that. I can also edit something after something's been put down, say, by using select. Click on that, whistle, finish, clap. You can edit it even after it's been placed down. And that comes to sliders. I didn't know about this when I first started. I just kept clicking the slider and adding hit sounds. But you can select specific parts of the slider to add specific sounds to them. For this one, I believe, I added a clap at the beginning. Yeah, you have to go up to this thing. I added a clap for the first one, and the other two are neutral. Now, I could hit this and make everything clap, or hit this and make everything whistle or finish, but usually when placing down hit sounds, you want to make them follow a pattern, like in this case. Did you hear that? Clap, neutral, neutral, clap, neutral. And of course, I had put them at the right distance. This comes at thirds, so 1, 2. I don't know how to say it, but basically, if you look up here, they come certain ticks away. This is a third, and then a 1. Then this comes at a third. Well, 2/3. 2/3, 2/3, 1, 2/3. I'm saying this wrong, aren't I? 2/3, 2/3, 1/2, 2/3. There. So you want to make the timing follow some sort of pattern. I mean, you don't have to break it down like I just did. Just make it sound right. And see, I changed the pattern there. I added whistle sounds instead of the clap sounds to, I suppose, change the flavor of the map as the song's flavor changes. As my mother would say, it's like chemistry, except this is with sounds and not cooking. So, yeah, I suppose that's majority of what I can teach you about that. The other useful things are test, which allows you to test your beat map. You can also press A to make the computer play it. No, actually, there are more things I could show you. Let's see. Say this is an important part, and I want to edit it every once in a while, so to travel faster, I could press Control B, or I click this plus sign, and I see this blue mark? It's called a bookmark. See, if I move here, I can use this to move to the next bookmark. Or I could use the minus sign, say I'm done, editing this section, and remove it. Other useful things, assume that, well, say the timing changes here. I can press Control P, and I get a red line, and I can move to the timing section, and this corresponds with that line I just said. I could change the BPM, I could change the offset, or if I just felt like changing something like, say, changing the audio to like 15% or 50%, or I felt like changing it to soft, which allows you to have 3 different hit sounds. Oh, I suppose I'm wrong. There are 18 different hit sounds if you feel really creative. But I don't need that, so you just click it and click delete. So, let's see, other things I could say about this. Well, there's playback rate, which, I just showed you the only use I can think of it in a few videos back. Yeah, I think that's all I can show. Oh, no, wait. I'm always wrong. There's this snap divisor. If you really, really need to get down to the nitty-gritty eighth notes, then you can slide it over to eighths. That allows you to really place notes closer to each other, but still be on time without changing the timing. That's about all that does. Most people avoid sixths and thirds, even though this would probably work for this map. I can assume that there's something that I need to say, but I can't think of it. That should be it for the most part, how everything works, though. So, I'll see you later. Hopefully.